Good morning. Welcome to day 7 of the Great Norfolk Broads Adventure 3. I'm just having my first cup of coffee. The first rays of the sun are just breaking the horizon behind the trees there, and the time is approximately 6:05, and yeah. Just a little bit hungover this morning. Had an absolutely wonderful afternoon, early evening, meeting up with the captain, who's in Brink Serenade, just there behind me. Met up with him last night. We only went to the Maltsters for one pint, but one pint led to another. So yeah, it was a few drinks already on top of the couple of pints that I had when I went in for my lunch/dinner. So yeah, it was a really good evening, and I found the London Rascal to be charming, informative, funny, and very pleasant actually. He's got this quite quirky sense of humour that really sort of appeals to me. It was a most enjoyable meeting, and yeah, I hope one day to meet up with him again for a pint, or maybe even just a cup of coffee. Would be good. But yes, if you are watching this, Rascal, thank you for your time, and I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much, you know. But yes, it was great to meet you, and look forward to seeing you out the water some other time soon. Anyway, besides that, what are we going to do? Well, you know, I've no idea. The sky, the sun is trying to break over there, but let me just. But it does look rather cloudy over this way. I'm not entirely sure. I think the clouds are rolling over though. So yeah, I think we're in for a bit of a dull, grey, not so nice day. But yeah, the wind's died down, at least I think so. And this is the last full day of the adventure. So I've no idea what I'm going to do. But I do need to get the boat all cleaned up and packed and organised and ready for going back. And I do need to end up at the upper reaches of the Ant when I settle down, but I don't know exactly where that is going to be. But it's going to be up there somewhere in order to take the boat back tomorrow morning. Yeah, do you know, it's a shame, you know, I mean, 7 nights just never seems enough, you know. I could have come longer, you know. I did 11 nights last year, but yeah, if I did 7 nights this adventure, I get another 7 nights later on in the year. I maybe couldn't have done that if I'd done 11 nights, but it just never seems enough, you know. It's just, I'm not ready to go home. I'm not ready to leave the boat. I'm not ready to go back to work. You know, I want to stay here a wee bit longer. I always do every time I come here for just a few short hours. A few short hours. Oh God, a few short days. I'm just never ready to go back. It just passes by too goddamn quickly. Anyway, Yeah, so I've no idea what I'm going to do. I think first things first is get my coffee down me, and then get a second one on the go. And then what we'll do is we'll probably do what we have done all week. Is we'll take a wee wander somewhere, a couple of hours. Maybe we'll go to Horning. Oh, I'll tell you what, we could actually check out Sal House. Go check out Sal House, get the water all het up, and then I think that'll be about a couple of hours up there. Plenty of time, should be a nice wee saunter. We'll go to Sal House, then we'll get all freshened up, get cleaned up, get the boat packed up, get me packed up, and then we can just head up the River Ant. That sounds like a plan. That does sound like a plan. I can do that. So yes, I think that's what we'll do, in which case I better get me rear end in gear, get the adventure off to a quick start, and yes, until something else happens, I shall keep you informed, and I'll speak to you later. So until then, bye for now. Okay, just a wee update for you. We left Ranworth this morning, around about 6:30, and we just came out of Ranworth, turned left, and we've just continued up the river, past Horning. We were on the way into Wroxham, but we've stopped here at Salhouse Spit. And I've just basically stopped here. I'm going to go and pack up the boat, get things organised, get a shower, freshen up. Should have some nice hot water now. And after we've sort of got organised, had another cup of coffee. I've only had one coffee this morning, so I'm still not fully awake. Once we've got all that organised, we'll head off back down the river, past Horning, and up the river it's a cold day today. That's a biting wind, that. It's very, very different from the weather that we've had the last couple of days. So yes, it's it's maybe not quite as warm and as picturesque this morning coming up the river. You know, it's turned into quite a dull day, but that's all right. That's all right. It's still good to be on the river, and it's very calm and it's very peaceful. I really do love these early morning cruises, definitely. Anyway, I'm not going to babble on too much. That's just where I am. So I'm going to go and get myself organised. And get a coffee, and I'll be back once I've got myself all organised. So until later, I'll speak to you soon. Okay, I'm back, yes, and I've had a shower and a wee bit of breakfast, and I'm all sorted and organised. Packed up pretty much all that I could do at the moment, so it's all packed and ready to just get packed into the car tomorrow when I take the boat back. So yeah, that's me all up and organised. I'm going to go and fire up the engine, and I'm going to head on back down the river. Our final destination is up the River Ant. But I still don't know if it's going to be Neatishead or Sutton that I want to spend tonight and have my last meal of the adventure. So I really don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going, but it's going to be in that area. But I just wanted to, considering how the weather has slightly changed today, I did just want to say one or two things about the boat now that I've been on it for a wee while. Obviously, forward steer cruiser, I still maintain that about the visibility on the boat, you know, towards the rear. You know, it's really quite bad, and it's not too bad out the port side, the left, you know, where the helm is, because you can stick your head out the window, or just pull the sliding roof back and just, you know, pop your head out and you can see what your rear is doing. That's not too bad. The main problem is over on the starboard side, the right of the boat, because really, I mean, all you've really got, all you've really got is these sort of windows. And although you can see out okay, you still cannot see anything over from this section, you know. And obviously down here, all the way to the, you can't just look out the back there. I suppose I could leave the door open and look out the back door, but even then, the visibility on the rearward vision of these types of boats. Oh, hold on a second. I'll just turn the kettle off. Yeah, so I still maintain that it's the one thing I really don't like about these forward steer cruisers, and it's I've been fortunate is that I've been able to moor on this side every time through the adventure, but I have noticed that when turning left, turning right, maybe to come out of a mooring, you know, and turn right if there's a boat there, or if I'm wanting to spin the boat around, you know, yeah, it is slightly annoying. It is slightly annoying. However, I will say that the boats are also very easy to handle, very easy to manoeuvre. Maybe it's just this one, you know, she's not very long, but I've never had any issues with her whatsoever, you know. She's very easy to just be, it has actually been a joy to drive her, apart from the niggly little thing that I have mentioned about this throttle slipping, but I will bring that to Richard's attention. And it's only annoying because sometimes when you sit down here, you know, you have to put your hand on the throttle, just rest it there, and you, in order to keep your speed going, if you take your hand off, it throttles back down to about 1100 and your speed obviously dies. It's not a major issue, it's not ruined my holiday, and I would never have actually phoned up Rich. It's never been too much of an issue for me to get in touch with Richardson's, because it's I've just been dealing with it. It's not a problem at all. But for anybody else coming, I will make a point of I will make a point to Richardson's about that issue, so that they can maybe get that sorted for the next hire. There is one other thing I want to say about Broad Suncharm, okay, and I don't know if this is typical of your forward steer cruisers, or if it's this boat in particular, and it's the heating system. The reason I chose Broad Suncharm, this boat, is because I knew it came with radiators. I didn't realise there was two radiators, I thought there'd just be the one. And I thought, well, March would be good, you know, because it'll be a bit chilly, and a radiator will do good for heating the boat up, you know, and keeping me nice and toasty. Well, there's two radiators, okay? There's one in the cabin at the back. Keep the door shut, lovely and toasty, very, very warm anytime you go in, if the heating's been on. Never any real sort of problems with the heating in the rear cabin. You've got another radiator just opposite the cooker in the galley, which, once again, you know, you walk into the galley, you know, which isn't very far, you know, it's only a couple of paces. You walk into the galley section there, nice radiator, just tucked, just down there, and it's lovely and toasty, you know, and especially if you've got the cooker on there, it's lovely and toasty down there. However, out here in the saloon, which you wouldn't think so, because the radiator's just there, but out here in the saloon you've only got one little blower. Hold on a second, you can probably hear it actually running just now. There, just under the helm seat. You've got a little blower there, but it's not very powerful. And I don't know if it's these sliding roofs up here, but there is a lot of down here, you know, all the way along, up there, and once again on the other side, you know, and there's a lot of gaps there, and it can get actually quite drafty and quite chilly, especially if the heating isn't on. And the heating in the saloon with that one blower doesn't actually warm the place up that much, surprisingly, despite the fact there's a radiator just there opposite the saloon. It seems that that radiator heats up the galley, but it doesn't heat up the saloon, and the blower is just hopeless for trying to heat up the saloon, especially because it's like the draft from these gaps here overwhelm the small heat coming out the blower. I don't know if you can see there. What I've actually tried to do is I've tried to get the curtains and jam them into the gaps there to try and reduce a wee bit of the draft from it. Obviously I don't have one there just now because I do pull this canopy back quite a lot when I'm going along. But at night I take the curtain and I just jam it in there. Now, during the warmer months, I don't think that'll be an issue because it's a lot more mild outside. You know, I don't, and even if it gets windy, usually the wind is quite mild as well in the warmer months. You know, summer. You know. So I don't think you'll have an issue then, but if you do what I did, take this boat because it's got radiators, thinking that in off-peak season it'll be a nice warm boat. It's not, actually. It's not cold, absolutely not cold, but it's not as warm as it should be. It should be a lot more warmer in the colder months. And I'm just assuming that's down to the heating system. So, just a wee sort of, once again, it's not impacted the holiday too much, you know. Yeah, it is something that I would say is, if you're thinking of hiring this boat in the colder months, be aware that there is a bit of a draft. The blower in the saloon isn't very powerful, and you're more likely to get that, especially if you're sitting there. That's where you get, you know, in the corner there, which is where I'm sitting when I watch TV, you do get the draft from here. So yeah, it's just something to be aware of. Anyway, but other than that, I'm quite happy with the Broad Sun Charm. She's got a couple of wee niggles, but she's definitely not a bad boat. She is comfortable. I slept pretty much like a log every night. You know, the minute my head touches the pillow, it's a very comfortable bed. Yeah, the helm position isn't well, the helm position's not too uncomfortable either. The only minor issue is that throttle, you know, because I have to sometimes I have to sit a wee bit further forward than I would like, you know, to comfortably rest my arm. But once again, that's not too much of an issue, because once that gets fixed, you know, you'll set the throttle and that'll be it. So it'll be no problem. You'll be able to lean back and just enjoy. She has been very responsive and easy to moor. I've never had any issues whatsoever mooring, even in crosswind at Acle yesterday. Came in, not a problem, quick, easy. So yes, it's still my least favourite class of boat. I still prefer the centre cockpits or the sort of fly bridges boat. I'm just getting text there. I still prefer the centre cockpit boats, but I get why these boats are popular. They're very easy to manoeuvre, very easy to get on and off the boat because of they're so low down. So yeah, I get these boats now, you know, and obviously I've already booked Swan Radiance, I think it is, for the another adventure in October, and it's a similar design, but I think it's a slightly different layout, but I'm looking forward to actually trying it, because yeah, I do get them, and they are very easy, especially for solo helmers. And I'm quite glad that my initial thought that it would be a good class of boat to sort of try solo helming to begin with has proved to be correct. So yeah, anyway, I've rambled on too much. I'm going to go away, make a coffee, which is probably cool down a wee bit, and set off back down the river to the River Ant. Yes, so until I've got something else to ramble on at you about, I shall speak to you soon. So until later, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Expect me to commit suicide of the heart. You ask me to play this game without question, racing stakes on the shotgun roulette. Every river I tried to cross, every hill I tried to climb, every ocean I tried to swim, every road I tried to find, all the ways of my life. I'd rather be with you. There's no way without you. But you came to me like the ways of children, simple as breathing, easy as air. Now the years hold no fears, like the wind they pass over. Love forgiven, washed, saved. Every river I tried to cross, every hill I tried to climb, every ocean I tried to swim, every road I tried to find, all the ways of my life. I'd rather be with you. There's no way without you. Every river I tried to cross, every hill I tried to climb, every ocean I tried to swim, and every road I tried to find, all the ways of my life. I'd rather be with you. There's no way without you. Every river I tried to cross,
Okay, just a wee update for you. We are now on the River Ant, and we came down the Bure, turned left, up the River Ant, and we've just passed under Ludden Bridge. Plenty clearance. One of the real advantages of these forward steer boats is the really low air draft. So yeah, didn't even worry about the gauge at all. Tons and tons of room. So yeah, we're just going up the river, and well, it's a wee bit nicer than it was yesterday. There is a bit of a stiff wind starting to blow again. The sun is trying to come out, but it comes out and goes away, but there's a right nip to that wind. Yeah, it definitely feels more March today than it has been the previous weeks. The time is currently 20 past 11, so we're doing very good time. And I've still not decided if we're going to do Neatishead or go to Sutton. I've never been to a Sutton Staithe hotel. Apparently it's supposed to be very good, very nice. But I have been, I think it's the White Horse at Neatishead. Went for some drinks there last year. As those of you will, that saw last year's adventure will probably know the minor intoxication of last year's visit to there. But we didn't actually eat at the White Horse Inn, but we did look at the menu and it looked very good. And I love that sort of atmosphere of the place, so maybe I can go to Neatishead. And if it is indeed going to be a bit of a windy evening, Neatishead should be quite sheltered as well. I think we'll have to see what the state of the Staithe is like. That'll probably decide. We'll go down to Neatishead, we'll take a wee look. Because obviously I have to leave early in the morning, so I'm kind of wanting to be nice and easy up the front end of it. It's quite an awkward Staithe to get in and out of it at times, because it's very narrow, you know. But it is a lovely wee place to spend an evening. Very quiet, very quiet, very calm and sheltered, and yeah. So if I can get into Neatishead, I think I will go into Neatishead. I will go and have a wee look, and it's only about a 10-minute walk down to White Horse for a few beers and an early dinner once again. I have noticed, I was getting ready and I've been sitting there coming down the river, and I have noticed that one of the good things about coming away on an adventure is that, I mean, you can eat on the boat, you can, I mean, there's plenty of facilities and they're well stocked, and there's nothing stopping you whatsoever from enjoying a nice meal on board the boat, cooking for yourself. But, let's face it, I'm on holiday, you know, so I have been eating out every night. And why not? Honestly, that's why you come. You come and you go out and you enjoy yourself and you have a good wee meal and a few drinks, and really just sort of relax and unwind and just get away from all the stresses and the worries and the problems of working in your normal day job. So it is one of the appeals, but the disadvantage of that, especially if you eat out every single night and enjoy way too many beers every single evening, is that you tend to put on a little weight. And oh my goodness, do I feel it today. Yes. Oh, I'm with Gem 6. Hello, just give you a wee wave there. Don't know. But yes, as I was saying, you do put on a little weight. Or in my case, I'm feeling that I've put on quite a wee bit of weight actually over the course of this adventure, because oh my goodness, my trousers are really feeling a wee bit on the tight side at the moment. Maybe it's just these jeans I've put on, maybe it's made a wee bit tighter than all the other trousers I've got.
In fact, that's what I'll say. I'll say the jeans I've put on are of a slightly tighter make than the other trousers, jeans that I have been wearing throughout the course of the adventure, and that is why I'm feeling a wee bit tighter in the waist region. At least if I tell myself that and I convince myself that, it doesn't seem so bad that I've actually put on a wee bit of weight. So yes, it's one of the joys of coming away on holiday, but it is one of the pitfalls is that when you go home you have to bloody end up dieting like hell, you know, just to lose the few extra pounds that you put on. But hey, what the hell. Anyway, enough about my expanding frontier. Yeah, it's turning into another enjoyable cruise. Well, when I say enjoyable, it's enjoyable in a relative term, because let's face it, this is essentially the last full day. This is essentially the last wander. This is essentially my last cruise. If I moor at Neatishead, I'll have about 45 minutes, an hour to get to Richardson's up at Stalham tomorrow morning. So yeah, but this is my last final, okay, once we're at Neatishead, that's it, you know. I'll be spending the last evening on board and away back home tomorrow, and 7 days goes way too quickly. Way too quickly, you know. It's been a great adventure. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I'm quite successful, happy, ecstatic about being able to come here and do my first solo helm. I've had no issues, or no major issues, apart from Acle yesterday, trying to leave that mooring in that high crosswind. I never honestly thought that it would be harder to leave than it would be to moor. But yeah, it's been great. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I've been so lucky with the weather. Last year's adventure was very changeable, but apart from a bit of a stiff wind yesterday and today, and the rather choppy crossing on Braden on Tuesday, the weather's been gorgeous. You know, it's been really calm, it's been very little wind, you know, the sun's been out, you know. I've caught a wee bit of sun, I feel. So yeah, it has been a fantastic holiday, and I've been really, really lucky with the weather. Here's hoping that October will be spot on as well. I'll get lucky with that. Anyway, I'm just approaching the more picturesque part of the River Ant now. This is where the reeds give way to some of the trees, and although there's not a lot of leaves, well, there's no leaves on the trees at the moment, it is certainly a wee bit more picturesque. So I'm going to go for now. Don't ramble on too much, and which will be a first. And yeah, I'll catch some footage on the way up the rest of the river to Ersted and onto Barton Broad, and yeah, enjoy the last wee section of the cruise. And so yeah, until I've got something else to update, I shall speak to you all later. Speak to you soon. Bye for now. Okay, just a wee update for you. We are here at Neatishead. That is where I've decided I'm going to spend my last evening, and I'm going to go down into Neatishead and go to the White Horse pub just directly. Yes, you can see I'm virtually here all by myself. It just seems to be a wee private barge just down there. Came up the River Ant, went through Ørsted, but just as I was getting to the end of Ørsted, approaching Barton Broad, the rain came on. Typical. So unfortunately there's no footage of me going across Barton Broad, even though it was a wee bit on the choppy side actually. But it wasn't too bad, but obviously I don't have a waterproof camera, yes, so there was no footage coming across Barton Broad and into Neatishead. But I'll maybe get some footage on the way back, and the rain is coming back on again. It went off there, I thought it was, but it's coming back on, so we'll just go back into the boat. Yeah. So yes, that has been my morning, my cruise. We were up at 6 o'clock, just got ourselves quickly gathered, fired up the engine and away. Quick wee jaunt up towards Sal House, freshen up, pack up, tidy up. Still need to do one or two wee bits and pieces, but I can't really do much of that until we're back at Richardson packing up the car, and yeah, that is essentially it. And I'm rather sad actually, you know, it's 7 nights just never seem long enough. It never does. You just get into that whole peace, and then it's over, and it's like, oh, I want to stay. I don't want to go home. I'm not ready for it. But yes, that is me for the day actually. I won't be doing much else. I won't be going anywhere else, I don't think. I did think about maybe going up to Sutton. I've never been to that hotel, but maybe I'll try that in October instead. Like I said, I think at the very start of this on a Saturday, I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that it's actually quite quiet on the Broads at the moment, and going to all the places that if I was to try in October would probably be a lot busier and a lot more difficult to get into, especially in the nice weather, because October is still quite mild and it is a wee bit busier than March. So that's why I'm kind of deciding to go to all these sort of popular places. Although I did want to try the New Inn or the Swan Inn in Horning rather than the ferry. I was a wee bit disappointed in the ferry house at Horning actually. My least favourite dinner, but it was good enough. It was good enough. But yes, I am going to so yeah. Oh, I lost track of what I was saying there. So yes, that is why I've been visiting all these places, and that's why I'm back at Neatishead, because Neatishead is quite narrow, it's quite long. If the rain has come off, or is it back on? Nope, it's still on. Okay, so yeah, I'll maybe show you Neatishead stay tomorrow, because I will do a little something tomorrow. But yeah, Neatishead stay, it's long and it's narrow. You know, it's not the easiest to get in and out of if you're not at the front of it. So that's another reason why I'm taking advantage of it being so quiet. You know, I'm here, you know, there's virtually nobody here. I'm not really expecting anybody else to turn up, certainly no more hirers, so I've pretty much got the stay to myself, and that means that in the morning I just cast off. I'm right at the front of it, so I'm not going to, if anybody else does come, I'm not going to disturb anybody. I'll just cast off round the corner and cruise on down the river. Should be about 45 minutes an hour up to Stalham, I think. So yeah, I don't know if I will be back later. I'm not actually planning on having too many beers tonight. just one or two with my dinner. So yeah, I don't know if I will be back later. So if I'm not back later, this is the end of day 7 of the Great Norfolk Broads Adventure 3. I will probably do a little something tomorrow, just a wee hello footage going up to Stalham, and maybe just a little something once I'm gone through all the handover process. I've kind of taken you over, I've shown you the boat and everything. One thing I do like about this boat, I know I was having a wee gripe earlier about the draft and everything like that, and the heater, and I've gone on about the visibility things, but one thing I will say about Broad Sun Charm, okay, and it's something that I don't think I emphasised enough, and maybe I should. Storage on this boat, at least for myself, is in abundance. It's plentiful. There are little wee sort of cubby holes and wee sort of drawers and cupboards and wee sort of knick-knack things. You know, I've got tons and tons of storage. You know, I've never had an issue putting my CDs, DVDs, my beer, my kitchen stuff, my food, you know, my clothes, you know. This boat does have an abundance of storage. So with I mean, if you were to, a couple with a young kid, you know, you've got the 2 beds in the main bedroom. Yeah, the saloon here converts to a double bed, you know. I don't think I would put 4 adults on this boat. You could, I don't think I would though. I would say at most a couple with a young kid, you know. Yeah, that would probably be about the most I would actually have. 3 people, 2 adults and 1 kid. But there is plenty storage for all your luggage, all your wee knickknacks, all your wee bits and pieces. Not a problem. So yes, I know I had a wee bit of a gripe about certain aspects about Broad Sun Charm, but that is one of its redeeming features, is huge amounts of storage space. Whether that is once again standard on forward steer cruisers, I don't know. I will have to get Swan Radiance in October and compare Swan Radiance to Broad Sun Charm as a class of boat, you know, as a forward steer cruiser, you know, on various things like the draft, the heating, the storage, you know. The visibility is going to be same because the same class boat essentially looks exactly the same as well. So, you know, with the sweeping windows. So yeah, I will have to compare Swan Radiance to Broad Sun Charm in October, and I will be able to have a better understanding. My phone's going crazy. It's typical, bloody typical. Well, I've never heard my phone all day, you know. The minute I pick up the camera, ding, 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 ding. It's like, oh my god. So yes, I've totally lost track of what I was saying then. So yes, Broad Sun Charm has an abundance of storage, and I love these little wee drawers and under the saloon seat and everything. So very, very good. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I've probably babbled on enough, too much already. I'm gonna go away, stick on a jacket, lock up the boat and go away and get my dinner. It's only 25 to 1, it's half 12. 12:35. So it's very early. But yeah, like I say, I like the early starts. So my cruising days do tend to finish a wee bit early. Maybe I'll change that in October. Maybe I will have early starts and just plutter around and keep on going until much later. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent once again. If you have been watching, thank you. I hope you found this adventure as enjoyable as I have. It's been, yeah, it's been good. It's been good. But I shall have a ramble about that tomorrow. I won't ramble about it just now. But yes, if you have been watching day 6, no, day 7, thank you very much. I'm gonna go get myself a beer, get myself a bite to eat, give the place a wee sort of a mop and a sweep and just sort of make it a wee bit more presentable and settle down for the night. And I will see you tomorrow on day 8, which will be a nice short video of just basically me cruising from here at Neatishead back up to Stalham and a few words up in Stalham after I've handed the boat back. So yes, until tomorrow, I doubt I'll be back. If I am back, you'll see me later, but until tomorrow, that's the end of day 7. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow at day 8, the final last cruise of the Great Norfolk Broads Adventure 3, the search for beer. And my phone's still bloody going. Oh god. Right, so much for that sort of ending there, you know. I was trying to be all sort of diplomatic and sort of, hi, you know, thank you, you know, it's a little suave, you know, and all my bloody phone's doing is beeping away at me. Right, anyway, for the umpteenth time, hate to repeat myself, thanks, catch you later. Until then, speak to you soon. Bye for now.